Casual.
Hi, chat. Hello, hello. Are we live? Are we good? Or are we alive and well? Probably not. It's okay. That's how I feel inside. I feel dead inside. Um, let's guess these games while Joe's doing other
Yeah.
things. Let's see. What do we got here?
I'm just doing a
What
couple more things.
what in the
What
blue
is
hell is
this?
this? What in the blue hell is this?
Uh,
Cinderloo, Kyle, and chat. Hello. How we doing?
what up? Let's do flower or flow. What is that one?
It's too dark.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna skip.
Well, you know what? I
I'm gonna skip.
give it a shot.
Holy fuck! It's Returnal.
Is it? Let me see.
It is one. That's
Yeah, it's
1000% Returnal, right?
Yeah,
It's not.
It's not Returnal. Dang. Oh well, yeah. No, that one only got a 75.
Yay! Nisa got their car back. Yay! Hey,
Nisa. What up?
Silcat also said it was Returnal.
Ooh,
What is going on here?
Oh shit!
What in the? I guess this game the other day, but is this like Everspace?
Was it We Are
Or EVE Online?
Here?
Real-time strategy, sci-fi. I'm gonna go EVE Online.
Let's see. Homeworld.
God, we did Homeworld the other time too, and
Just do it. Just do it. Just trust me. Homeworld 3.
It is in Homeworld. Oh shit.
So I told you.
Homeworld 3 because it's this year.
Yeah, told you.
Look at you.
I'm real good at RTSs apparently. Of knowing what they look like, even in the games I haven't played. I'm like, oh, that's.
You play so much of them too.
It's dude. I love that. I cannot wait for Civ 6. Are you fucking kidding me?
Is this a snake? Is this a snake eater? Is that the snake man himself?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I
Because remember, they usually go off of a vibe, right? Like they go off of like what's been popping this week.
Yeah. Oh god, what's been popping?
What's been crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, it's not MGS3.
Oh.
What kind of hub we got going on here? 77. Huh.
Okay.
Is this a Call of Duty? Like an older Call of Duty?
Let me take a look. No.
It's not an Uncharted.
Could we do... I know this sounds crazy. Go back. No,
It's not a Deus Ex. It's not a Tomb Raider.
I was gonna say like Wolverine. The
Oh.
Because the guy's really bloodied. Yeah, like
Origins Wolverine.
Origins.
Holy
Wolverine.
crap, Joe!
Was it?
Yeah, dude.
Wow. I was even going. I shouldn't say it because it's probably not it. It'll make me look dumb.
Holy crap!
I have never played that game.
That's insane.
I have never played this. Never in my life. Wow.
Well done. Well done.
Look at me, dude. Over here, just...
That's insane. Look at you.
Yeah.
You played this. You played this week already.
I wish.
All right, visual concepts. This is either WWE or NBA. I'm going to say WWE. 2K.
My God!
Let's just do 20. No, that's not even an option? Excuse me? Let's just go 19. Okay, it's in that universe. So, let's go 2K20. Okay, it's not. It's
EA Sports.
PS5.
It's in the game.
Is this less years? Not SK23. Jesus. Okay, was it not called 23 last year? This is gonna frustrate me.
Have you seen the thing from Fantastic Four got leaked?
No.
Or no?
I haven't seen it.
Looks good. That's all I gotta say.
What? I'm all over this thing. What? It came out on PS5. It's What?
Can I
Huh?
take? Can I take a guess?
Yeah.
Hulkamania.
No, it's definitely 2K.
Came out on PS5.
Yeah. I played this
Cody
game.
Rhodes, Roman Reigns.
I have this game. I should say I had this game. I don't have
Are
it
they
anymore.
doing? Are they doing the weird thing where it's like, no, okay, never mind.
But like I've been guessing.
Let's start scrolling down a little bit.
It's fucking right there. Jesus Christ. Ay, ay, ay.
Let's not cuss. Hey everybody, please hit that like button. Hit the share. If you got the Twitters, throw us up there. We could really use the shoot-out.
Don't you dare tell me not to cuss. I'm an adult.
Oh. 2K24. Great.
Okay, what is this? Is that a Bloodborne bridge?
No. That is Frogger.
Sure.
How about this one's Metal Gear Solid? Why wouldn't it be?
No.
No? All right.
So it's a small land.
Let's do it.
Small land.
Small land.
That's not
85.
That's not even the name of the game.
Should I do standing this week or should I do sitting?
Whatever you are most comfortable with.
I've been sitting all day. I think I'm gonna stand.
Rustler? What's Rustler? I'll go with Rustler. I have no idea what that game is. PS2. PS2. We got a cart. We got a BGL.
PS2. It's a cart. Rustler. Oh wait. Ooh, Stingray may get it. Stingray and I were playing a little bit of Concord earlier. We were wrecking shop every single match. I think we only lost once.
What is that? Like Norath or something? Champions of Norath.
We're really good. This week we're on one. So canon, never leave.
Never
go on vacation.
That's all I needed.
There you go. There you go.
Sweet.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Nice. I'm excited to hear your journey into the full release of Concord on the main show.
Ooh, dude, I'm excited to talk about it.
Huh.
Excited for the hate that will follow.
What is this?
Timestamps pop out the chat.
Is this Untitled Goose Game?
Ooh, that could be it. That's a good one.
It's not. 79. I'm gonna say Escape Academy.
Escape Academy.
Escape Academy. What just happened? Did I just have a stroke?
Ooh. So it says pedestrian. We could do pedestrian.
Oh, okay.
That one sounds nice.
Is that not the name of the game? Okay, never mind. I thought Escape Academy was the name of the game.
Pedestrian. Yeah, it's very pedestrian of you.
It's not the pedestrian, but I didn't hate it.
It's a good one.
Oh my god, is this... This came out this year. Is this...
Xbox One.
Oh my god, Little Kitty Big City? No, it's not. No,
Why not? Why wouldn't it be?
Because it's got Xbox One in there.
Well, isn't Little Kitty Big City an Xbox, like, just title?
But it's also on Switch.
Isn't it also on Switch?
Oh, it is Little Kitty Big City. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Never doubt yourself, dude.
Sweet.
Say it with confidence.
I've heard decent things about the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't look very good on my end, but okay.
Well, listen.
All right, two more. Let's do this. I can't wait to talk to you about certain things that will get me hate online. This looks PS3 era, right? Or sorry,
I was
Xbox One era.
4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip.
Okay. E6.
Okay, we got a marker.
A marker.
Is this like a PUBG?
Can't wait. Chat about fantasy critically. Why? Because you cheat. Everybody, here's the thing. Nerd chat guys are cheating in our fantasy critic league. It's really not a big deal for us. It's very low stakes. It means a lot to them. That's why they've cheated. And their rules are weird. Why isn't it the Saturday drop, right, Kyle? Why isn't it the Saturday drop?
I'm not getting into it.
Dear
I
Esther,
don't have the energy. I put Dear
honestly,
Esther and it's not Dear Esther.
Here's the thing. It might be our fault because we let the amateurs run it. You know what I mean? So, like, how can we be angry when we let the children drive the car?
What is the Dead Rising game from Xbox One? Is that 4?
Dead Rising 4?
No.
No. Survival. Okay. What's the
State of Decay?
What's State of Decay? There you go. That's what I was thinking. Bro, did y'all see the Vampire Survivors trophies? 2 sets. What? 2 sets of trophies? Just similar to that of Sea of Thieves.
It's got to be the second one.
Yeah. Similar to that as Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves has 2 sets of trophies list, which Nissa, was it you that posted that? No, it was I think Hida that posted that they got the platinum in Sea of Thieves. So
awesome.
Very attainable. I think I could do it. I think I could do it. All right, last one. Let's do this. And I'm here to talk PlayStation, baby.
Nerd chat, you can't come in here and just put a blanket question. I was trying to stay out of it here, okay?
Yeah.
You can't say chat, agree, or disagree. In fantasy leagues, you're allowed to pick up free agents, correct? Yes, you are, but not instantaneously.
Not instantaneously. What's the point of betting if it's instant, you guys? Come on. Get your head. Chat, yes or no? Should Nerd Chat get their heads completely out of their asses?
No, it's fine.
Yes or no?
It's fine. We're going to win regardless. We're going to win regardless, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, I already said their votes don't matter.
See, John and Chat, you need waivers. Yeah, there needs to be a waiting period.
You need waivers. Thank you, John. And that we didn't even pay John a goddamn
that's
dollar.
That's what the standard one is they process on the weekends. And I don't remember if it was before it or afterwards. I remember I was very sick. I didn't have a voice, and I thought I raised that thing, but nobody, I guess, agreed with me at the time, which is fine.
All right.
Totally fine.
No. You were sick, and they took advantage.
No. Don't do this. Don't do this, Joe. I'm a peaceful man. I love everybody. We're having a great time.
They took advantage of your illness.
Don't rile me up. I don't know what this is. 57 on the Metacritic score. Oh boy.
Goodness. I still got to do a little.
That's oddish. Did Pokemon Snap get a 57 back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Okay, hold on. Joe, can you see this? Can you see what I typed when I share my screen?
Let's see. Pokemon Snap. Not found?
It says not found. So it's not crazy. No one's like... I typed in Pokemon Snap and it says not found.
Pokemon Snap. Yeah.
Oh. If I take the words and I delete the space in between, then it will show up. It's not Pokemon Snap, though. Damn it. Is it Coliseum? N64? What? Oh. What's the one where you talk to Pikachu?
Pokemon Talk?
No.
Pokemon Chat?
No.
Pikachu?
No. Is it Hey You, Pikachu?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This doesn't look like a fighting. Yeah, there it is. Hey You, Pikachu.
Yeah.
Jeez, that almost gave me a stroke. Sweet. All right. We've only got a couple. We've got a lot of missing.
I'm ready.
Why is that possible? Why is that?
Kyle, I'm so amped. I'm ready to talk about video games. Gosh darn it. And no more. Here's the thing. No more talking about Fantasy League. We're not talking about it. We don't care what they say. We never cared what they had to say.
Well, that's not true.
Their rules are dumb. They're dumb.
I appreciate them.
I was like, you can interrogate this man to say something mean, and he's just not gonna do it.
No.
It's great. It's pretty nuts. Ooh, one sec. I am hearing someone call down. One sec. Do one more game. One sec.
Oh, well, I closed it already, so it's fine. Chat, how we feeling today? Are we doing okay? What's up, Nerd Chat? Yeah, you have a good night yourselves, Nerd Chat. Love you very much. Appreciate what you guys do. No hard feelings on my end. Same, Luke. I don't really care that much. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Chat, Dewani, I don't feel like vamping. We're just gonna start the show. All right, we'll see you in exactly 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 391 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we chat about the PlayStation 5 Pro, Snake Eater remake impressions. Jiminy gives us his thoughts on Concord launch woes, Outlaws thoughts, Star Wars Outlaws thoughts, another banger indie release just dropped, and so much more as we do it live each and every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and audio services the very next day after. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for a 3-day weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. So
All
we got
right.
Monday
Well, for you.
off. Yeah, for me.
Yeah. All right,
So
fair enough.
we got Astrobot next week. Like we're
Dude,
Vampire Survivors tomorrow on PlayStation.
So,
like we're eating
two trophy
very well.
lists.
Oh,
Two
boy.
trophy lists, Kyle.
Oh,
my
boy.
goodness. You're right.
Yeah.
Jeez, I forgot Labor Day. I work Labor Day,
Mm.
but I get paid extra. I
Sure.
get paid time and a half.
Sure.
It's all right.
How are
That's
you?
fair enough.
Are you doing okay?
I'm doing fantastic. I think this week's been pretty good. I took a day off. You know, we had some like family stuff. We celebrated the 9-year like anniversary of my grandpa passing. It was also kind of like we're throwing in Marty in there as well, so we're kind of like a Remembrance Day type of deal.
That's lovely.
But thank you. Yeah, but it wasn't like I wasn't sad.
Sure.
I know it sounds weird. More sad over Marty because I think, more recent.
Sure.
But it was just nice to like remember, my grandpa, remember the good times of Marty. And
Yeah.
honestly, as well, like Abby's been giving me a run for her money. So she's like, it's about me now. I don't
Sure.
know if you know this. What about you, man? How's your week been? How's your week been treating you?
Just busy. Like, work's crazy still. Even though Gamescom
was
has
gonna
come
say-
and gone, it's
Yeah.
there's still a lot of cleanup and stuff, a lot of follow-ups and whatnot to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
still busy. But I just thought of a question for you, Joe, to start it.
Okay.
Starter question.
Yeah.
Just because I forgot to put it in Flash News, I figured I'd drop it here.
Oh, drop it right
Out
now.
of the blue today,
Tell me about it.
the OG Studio announced that they are remastering Croc Legends of the Gobos on PS1.
Ooh,
A
okay.
childhood favorite of mine is
Nice.
getting remastered this year. Like they said, it's coming out in 2024 this year. Croc is another mascot platformer from back in the day. It's
Mhm.
so nostalgic. It was one I rented a whole bunch before I finally owned it. It's really, really fun.
I remembered Croc sitting at like the Blockbuster shelf,
Yeah.
but never diving into it.
Oh, it's such a good time. I hope people pick up the remaster and play. I hope it plays. I hope they update it.
I
in
was
good
thinking
ways.
about something similar because congratulations to Croc.
Yeah.
As like, playing the Doom, re-releases, seeing that Night Drive has done a great, right? Isn't that their name, right? Night Drive Studios or Night Dive? I always forget.
For the
Night
Doom
Dive
one?
Studio. The Doom folks.
I'm not sure.
Fair enough. Here's what I'll say. If double check me, make sure they're the right folks. If Night Drive Studio, because I know they handled the Dark Forces remaster on PlayStation 5 and PS4, if they do a Shadows of the Empire remaster, Kyle, you audience, you need to check in on me to see if I'm still alive. Because it's just such a special game to me. And I feel like it should be illegal at this point to have
Night
that
Dive,
game.
by the way.
Night Dive, thank you. To have that game stuck on the N64. Like, I'm very curious in what state, if they even have the code. You know what I'm saying?
So that kind of leads into what my question was going to be is what game from your childhood would you want to see brought back? And like
Shadows of the Empire.
The only other one that I'm waiting for, because I've got Star Ocean 2 remake, and I played a little bit of it a few weeks ago and had a great time. Just was in the mood for an RPG at that moment.
Yeah,
I'm getting Croc. Tomba came back. My last one is Brave Fencer Musashi. If that comes back, it's game over. Like I have the PS1 in my eyes. Outside of like, well, we could still play Final Fantasy 8 now with the remaster, but like outside of a FF9 remake or a 10 remake or whatever, 8 or whatever, like I'm pretty much set on the PS1 era of games of like I think every single one that I loved back then I can play now again.
Okay.
Except for Brave Fencer. That's like the one.
Yeah. For me, it's like a whole bunch of like nostalgia for like Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
So like, give me. Is Pod Racer back? Like, is that?
Yeah.
Is that on PS4, PS5?
There's a Switch version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me the Rogue series. Like, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot there. Give me Terrakasi Arena. Give me that terrible
to Luke in chat, yes, I did hear Extra Life Challenge about the level in the Doom stuff. I don't own it yet, so you're just gonna have to wait.
Exactly, you guys are gonna have to wait. I know we've been challenged by XCP to finish the Doom extra levels that were made. It's the holiday season, man. This week we got Outlaws. Next week we got Space Marine and Astrobot.
I was gonna say, don't forget Astrobot.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot, dude.
Yeah,
we have so much.
But no, it will be done, Luke.
It will be done. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. He's just stressing. That said, listen, we have a lot to talk about. Like the fact that we might be getting another state of play instead of a showcase, like our review on Star Wars Outlaws, like our thoughts on Concord and where it stands currently, all that and more. But before we get into that, of course, it's a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, we're having our Astrobot giveaway, and we got some rules. First and foremost, our giveaway ends on September 4th, so get your reviews in. That being said, first rule is you can leave us a 5-star review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You could be a patron at the bronze tier or above, and then send us a picture of your review over on our Discord or on our Twitter at PS Trophy Room or threads at Mr. Bad Bit. And speaking of Astrobot, because we're not done there, our By the Players community show, where the community and ourselves gather together each and every month to talk about a game that we've all been playing, is all talking about Astrobot in October. So the deadline to register is August 31st. Please speak to Marcus O'Neill and or Drellish in the Discord chat. We've been having a ton of fun talking about and doing all these deep dives that get recorded on the spot, then put up to Patreon at patreon.com at the PS Trophy Room. We've been having a lot of fun. One of the things that we've been told by Green Gorilla Gamer is, hey, this is a ton of fun, but also realize that we're kind of stars to you guys, which is a very weird concept because we're just people talking into microphones, but people could get nervous of our presence, and I totally understand. This is a show where we don't...
I am a dunce.
I know, I'm a real piece of... like, this is... But, you know, we recognize that, right? We have these like, parasocial relationships we build with you, and we're friends on Discord. We play games with you on PlayStation. I get it. There could be a little nerve-wracking at times. But this is a show where we don't care about your mic. Like, we don't care, as long as you're not in a loud room with a screaming baby, we do not care where you're at. We just want to hear what you have to say about the games you've been playing. So if that interests to you, go head on over to our Discord at Marcus O'Neill, at Drellish. They'll guide you through the whole process, and then we'll sit on down, find a day, we'll all sit together, and we'll chat Astrobot. It's going to be a really fun talk.
Mm-hmm.
Astrobot is, I mean, the only thing that could go toe-to-toe to Balatro for Game of the Year at this point.
Can I? You brought him up, so I want to keep this trend going because I feel like every week we mentions him in a way that we're somewhat disappointed in him, but
Luke Lore?
No. I'm talking about Green Gorilla Gamer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he streamed yesterday Last of Us Part 2. He's back on the horse. But I have an issue, Green Gorilla.
Oh, okay.
The
With
title of your stream is Haven't Been This Disappointed in a While. What are we doing? Are we giving it its full chance?
Give it a fair shot.
Give it a fair shot.
Understand, this is gonna be an amalgamation of 20 hours of depression, despair, and the lack of optimism.
There's few moments of joy in that game, and they're very brief.
Fleeting. Well, it's literally like when I think of Ellie, I do think of, I don't know about you, I think of Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2. That's my favorite Ellie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my god! And have you seen? Oh my god! I forget her
Never.
name. You've seen her.
Listen,
you gotta protect her at all costs. Apparently, like she needed extra protection on set. It's like,
which is so dumb. People, it's a video game. Stop.
It's not real, guys.
No,
why are we doing this anyway? That said. Listen, there's a whole lot of disappointing news this week, but I can't wait to talk about it with you, Kyle, before we do a little bit of our Patreon pitch. Of course, the reason why we look so great, sound so good, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/pstrophy. We literally would not be able to record the show without your support over at patreon.com. So if you ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, it really does help us out. Even if it's just $1 our way over at patreon.com/pstrophy. It really, really does help us out in a tremendous way. That said, I want to thank our newest members, Dorman96 and Dylan Mendelwitz at the bronze tier, and also our new ones that just came in, Big G and Lamb Chop, what up, but also becoming bronze members as well. I want to thank our our premium producers, Todd Burwitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, JC, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Vyuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximos, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silk Canet, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, and Mike Thomas. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Darth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Katie. He's also in chat but never wants to play Fortnite with me. Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz that I played Concord with, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Stingray X, which we had a 5-round just win streak in Concord. Shout out to Stingray. Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold E.T., Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Durane Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, Big G, and Suddy. Hooey, thank you all so much for your support. We literally could not do this without you. And hey, listen, if you become a member, you get a whole bunch of hundreds of hours, not even a whole bunch, hundreds of hours of bonus shows where Kyle and I mess around, like our top tier, like our after show, like our by the player show. It's all so much fun. I love seeing you guys interact with us in those shows. And God knows we're going to be doing more of that in the future. Weekly shows on top of that. Ooh-wee. All that said, Kyle, it's finally time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up comes from Eddie. I always say his last name wrong, and I feel terrible every time. Makuch?
Okay.
Eddie, I apologize. From GameSpot. Eddie writes, PS5 Pro coming this year, could be $600. PlayStation event in September. Sony will announce to release a PlayStation 5 Pro device this year, and a new State of Play broadcast where it could be announced is on tap for September, according to reporter Jeff Grubb of GameSpot. sister site Giant Bomb. Speaking on the Game Mess Morning Show, Grubb reacted that the PS5 Pro was apparently an open secret at Gamescom recently as developers prepared games for it. Grubb said, quote, "The last I heard, this thing, the PS5 Pro, is still coming out this year. More recently, what I've heard is there's probably going to be a state of play, not a showcase, by the end of September," end quote. Grubb said he wasn't sure if the rumored PS5 Pro will be announced at this potential event, but said it's a possibility. The system could then go on sale in October or November, Grubb said, going on to estimate that it might cost $600 or even potentially $700.
So first question for the live chat here. Y'all, what is your limit for PlayStation 5 Pro? Is it 500? Is it 600, 700? Sky's the limit? Are you guys high rollers like that? You're like, make it over $1,000. Let me know in the comments because I really want to know, because $600 is pushing it.
What was the PS4 Pro when it came out?
PS4 Pro, if memory serves correct, I think it was $400 because no, 500. Memories.
Yeah, it was $400.
Yeah, $400. That said, $600 is really pushing it. $700 is a crazy. Like, who's gonna?
If
I don't know, Kyle. Who's gonna pay $700 for this?
Me, because of a dummy. But
right.
If it is $600 without a physical disk drive, I'm going to lose it.
No, I think it has.
It has to, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't be expected to buy a PS5 Pro, a quote unquote better version of the PS5, and then be forced to pay an extra, what was it, $7,500 for the detachable disk drive?
Right.
Absolutely not. It has to have that included completely. It's a tough sell. It's gotta showcase exactly what it can do. And the tough thing is like, if you already don't have a TV that can support what this will do, it's gonna be hard to see any difference.
Yeah.
So like I don't know the best way to go about this and marketing it as like, you need this because it does this, and most people will be like, oh well, okay, cool, whatever. It's like me back in the day with frames. Like, I don't care, right? It's whatever. I'm totally fine with 30 frames now. It's totally okay with me. It doesn't matter.
I love what Kyle 8122 wrote in. My wife is having an operation on her foot and can't have her nails done for ages. So sky's the limit for my PlayStation 5 Pro. Bravo, Kyle. I love the man thinking there. That's exactly when I heard like the prices that women pay to get their nails done. I'm like, guys, you just buy the nail polish. You do it yourself. There's no, like, you guys are getting it filed. Are they massaging your hand? Like, why is it that much? Like, $25, $30. Like, what's that nail polish doing that yours at home can't do? Ladies, let me know in the chat. That said, you're right. It's hard right now, especially in this economy, to go $600. Yeah, easy. $700. Yeah, easy. Like, this is also a system that developers are going to have to develop for. Right? So you're talking about like, hey, we need dev tools that are able to, take advantage of this hardware. They also need people to be playing on that console to have it worth their while to go and spend the extra manpower to go develop for that console. It's not like flipping a switch, unless, what people talk about, the PSR or PSSR, where it does like, it does, enhanced frame rate and
you mean the VRR, the variable refresh rate?
Yes,
kind of
but
thing?
They call it something
Do
weird.
they?
It's like the PlayStation version of it, where it's like, yeah, you get the automatic 60 and 4K just machine learned on the system itself. Then they could go, man, you don't even need to because it's just there. It's just doing it. But to me, man, $700 is no for me. Like, my console is doing all the things it needs to do. $700 could go to a rig that I can help edit the show. Could go to you to edit the show. $600 is also a really steep ask. I'm afraid they're going to do that. Because we saw with the PlayStation, VR 2. nobody bought it at that price. $550, 599, a huge price. And for something that's a niche, I don't know, man. I don't think this is the right play. I don't know.
That's the thing right now. Like, it'd be this state of play or showcase or whatever they decide to name it.
Yeah,
And
Jiminy has thoughts too. You
That's
got
right, Jiminy. I was just about to get to that, sir. They really need to showcase games that will look exciting on a enhanced hardware. Right?
Yeah.
Like there is nothing right now outside of Death Stranding 2 that I can look forward to. I'm saying first party. I don't want third party. That's Dragon Age, a bunch of other really fun things.
Yeah.
But first party wise, there is nothing outside of a potential Death Stranding 2 where I'm like, I need my Pro so I can get in the best possible version. Like, my PS5 games look beautiful right now. Like, I that is the tough sell, is telling us what games are coming and how they run better on this Pro, and we know nothing on either front. So it's
that's
strange.
It's also kind of sad for me, and I know it's going to be for everybody else here, where when Jeff Grubb says it's a state of play, this is not a showcase. We're going off a year now, year plus, no showcase. It either tells me two things, Kyle. I want to know what you think. First off, my patience have run dry. Show us why we're invested in this ecosystem, not just because we have to. That worries me that we're getting arrogant Sony again. Of like, we get to wait because Microsoft's putting their stuff on our platform now. We're gonna be fine. Like, again, complacency scares me. Hearing it at its a state of play, I'm concerned that it's just all about the PlayStation 5 Pro and not about the games that I'm going to be playing next year. Because outside of Death Stranding and maybe a Wolverine, but big maybe, we got nothing. We don't know anything. And my patience run dry to the point of like, show us why we're invested in this ecosystem. Because if it's just like, here's what the PlayStation 5 Pro can do, and here's maybe 3 games, 4 games, 5, whatever, and like maybe some games you've already played that are enhanced, it's like, that doesn't push the needle at all.
No.
And I don't know if I'm coming off like entitled or anything.
Because like, there are other 2025 games that are coming. Like, I think of Phantom Blade Zero. But like, I played that at Summer Games Fest. It already looked incredible on a standard PS5. Mm-hmm. Like, what is that next, quote unquote, next gen feature that this Pro is going to do? Yeah. That's going to allow us to be like, oh my God, I'm going to take out all my savings to buy this because I'm irresponsible.
Yeah.
And I don't see a path forward where it's like, I'm going to do just that. Or like, I'm going to take my PS5, I'm going to trade it towards that. Like, I don't know. Sure. Unless this is not the price and it's a little bit lower, like a 450, 500, that's a little bit more reasonable. But if Jeff Grubb is thinking it's that high, I trust Jeff, and he's usually always pretty close to being right. It's not worth it.
Yeah. No. And I mean, Nissa writes in the chat, you could grab a ROG Ally. You're right. ROG Ally X, $900. Listen, that's big. But like, yes, like that's what I'm waiting for. ROG Ally X. Absolutely. I mean, listen, the nerd chat, bravo to them. They wrote in a really great question that didn't involve them cheating in Fantasy League. They write, would a $700 price tag push more PlayStation owners to PC? Like, do you risk that of going, well, you know what, for the whole kit and caboodle, for $1,000 more, I can get something that is going to give me more freedom, open the ecosystem, and who knows, maybe I can be a patient little boy and my PlayStation games will come to PC anyway. Kyle has a long drawn thought.
I don't know, and the reason why I say it, because I am a stubborn console boy. I feel like most people are in my same camp where like, you play on console, that's where you play. I don't think anyone's really going to push towards a PC no matter what. Even though, PC is it is the most powerful way to play games and have it have the games in a state where you were most comfortable playing with it or playing them. If that made any sense, but like,
No, I got it. I followed
for
through.
me, I'd much rather sit on the couch and play on my TV.
I want the simplicity, dude. We were
Yeah.
playing Fortnite last night with Logan and his girlfriend, and he was having like driver issues, and I'm like, well, don't have to do this. Like she was like, I'm in windowed mode. How the hell do I get out of it? I'm like, don't have to suffer through that. That alone goes price. You can't put a price tag on how do I get out of windowed mode. Like you can't.
No, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no price on NVIDIA drivers need updating. You know how many like little pings and pongs right now I've gotten because of my wireless mouse being plugged in and just waking it up? I don't want to go through that. I'm sorry. So I think there's still a premium market to be had. But like what Luke said too is another price hike in Japan. What does the Pro even mean for them? What does the Pro really and
Jeez,
how
I
are
don't
you
know.
able to convey that? Right? Like how are you able to convey what this console can do effectively when everybody's streaming the event, when everybody has to toggle 4K on, right? And then they got to squint at their screen. Like I think it's getting harder and harder to show folks the visual fidelity of these games because they're already so pretty.
And
So
yeah, let's move it even a step further. We're 4 years into the life cycle of the PS5.
Yep.
The next successor is probably what, 4 or 5 years away.
Yep.
So do they really think people are going to spend $600 when the next one in a couple years will also be $600?
that's the other thing is like, when are you going to drop the prices of these consoles? It seems like this is going to be another very long generation for consoles. COVID playing a huge part in that, but
Sure,
like,
yeah.
yeah, for me, I don't know. I swing this over. So okay, $600, probably our limit, hard limit. What about the lack of showcase? Does that not concern you?
I hate
I'm
it.
concerned.
I'm concerned a little bit.
Do
I'm
you think-
concerned because it's a selfish concern.
Right.
Not that I'm worried PlayStation's in trouble. They're not. They're fine.
They're not.
It's more just selfishly, I want to see what games I'll be playing first party wise next year.
Right. Because we're invested in this
Yes,
ecosystem.
exactly.
We love
That's
the developers.
That's the only
Yeah.
reason why I am upset. Even though, like, the 5% chance that they're just getting rid of the showcase moniker and State of Play is now the blanket name for all
Term.
presentations. Like,
Yeah.
I doubt it, but I don't know.
What makes you doubt that, bud?
Just because they could have done that at any point. They could have done that last year. You know?
But hey, Herman's in charge now.
Yeah, that is true.
Maybe he wants it so that like, hey, every state of play is important. We don't need a fancy word, fancy title.
I'll
State
tell
of plays
you,
are just important.
I'll tell you whenever this gets announced by your uncle who's in the know. I'm
Right.
sorry, not uncle. Just somebody you know. I'm sorry.
Henry Hansen.
Yep. Hank
Oh
Hansen.
shit.
If you are a real Hank Hansen listening, write in. I want to hear from you.
Yeah. Let's hear it, Hank.
I will be concerned if whenever this announcement happens, like, hey, this state of play is happening on, next Thursday, and
Sure.
it will run for 30 minutes. Then I'll be concerned. If it's a state of play that's like 50 to 60 minutes long, an hour long, I'm going to be okay. That's
Okay.
good. But if we get like a smaller state of play, I'm going to be disappointed and not fulfilled already before even watching it, because you gotta think 5-10 minutes of that will be the Pro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. At least 10
exactly.
solid minutes.
Unless they do it with like everything else and just put it on the blog. Like, I don't understand. What are we doing?
I have no idea and I hate it. Okay, so what if, and I heard some people say this, I really like this analogy that they're going in the Nintendo Direct route of like, hey, listen, Nintendo doesn't have like their big Nintendo Directs. Like, the one in the summer is probably going to be their bigger one, but like Nintendo Directs have a whole bunch of games coming out in the next year to two. What if PlayStation takes that moniker of like, hey, listen, we don't need to work on, the weird concept trailer for like The Last of Us Part 3 to show off for it to only come out 4 years later. What if it is something that is like, hey, this next state of play, if it is Ghost of Tsushima 2, Death Stranding 2025, are we happy with that? And going, and here's some little medium games and here's some other games. But if it's just like, hey, here's our two or three big studios, this is the games that they're working on for next year, maybe the year afterwards, is that something that we're fine with? Or do we need to see the whole slate, as it were?
Personally,
Mhm.
in my humble opinion,
Humblest.
little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay.
I want more than two. I don't want everything
Sure.
kit and caboodle. Just have one, just like kind of dangling of the carrot.
Yeah.
Like just think of when we got The Last of Us Part 2 first trailer at PSX.
Meant something, man.
That game didn't come out for another 3 years or whatever it was.
Right.
And like, I love that because I knew it was something to strive for. It was something to like, I know this game's coming. It's going to be a little bit. I'm super excited about it. There's other games in the meantime. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I also fully appreciate, like, shout out to Bethesda when they're like, here's Fallout 4 and you're playing it in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's a beauty to both.
Exactly. And like, if there's a mixture in there, cool. That's kind of what I want. But I'm also a little worried that Sony is, now way okay with having their games show up on Keighley stages, like Game Awards and Summer Game Fest, and that's where the big heavy hitters will go. And the showcase, the quote unquote showcase name is gone, and we just get smaller state of plays because the big stuff will show up there.
No, I think the big stuff will still show up at a state of play. I think the small to medium stuff is at Jeff shows. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm actually better. I'm okay with the idea of, hey, listen, give us a year and a half out of what to look forward to. If that just means they get to take more time in making the game and that it helps them. Because again, these vertical slices that we see at these shows usually take 6 months, 6 to 9 months to pull off. Usually when you're doing a show this big, you're working on it a few months after the last one ends. So, that is a lot of development time that you're outsourcing to other studios, just again, to get like the concept feel for game X, Y, or Z. And yeah, it's kind of like with the Xbox game that's made by, oh my goodness, there's like an Xbox game that is made by, my goodness, Jiminy, help me out here.
Minecraft.
There you
State
go.
of Decay.
No, it's made by the Just Cause devs, right? That's been in limbo for Contraband.
I brought it up last week. I was like, where the hell is it?
Exactly. So like, if it prevents those conversations, maybe PlayStation's thinking of it like that. We can save these more often, but there is that alert of like, oh yeah, I won't go to PC because I got like Uncharted 3 or whatever, 3.5, whatever. Like, in 3 years. Like, okay, cool. It keeps me cemented there. So yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to see this thing. I hopefully in 2 weeks time, we know, like in 2 weeks time, we should have an idea of, our predictions for this state of play. But state of play, I can't help but be a little bit bummed out by that. It's not a showcase, because I do think there's meaning behind that word. There's excitement around your fan base when you hear that. I think they are, though, thinking of the Nintendo method.
Yeah. Just talk
to us. Kyle.
That's all I want.
Just talk to me every once in a while. That said, we do have some impressions on Metal Gear Solid 3. Would you like to take the first impression away, sir?
Of course, yeah. Dan Reichert from GameSpot writes, on the remake spectrum, Delta's ambitions fall somewhere between the enhanced visuals and quality of life upgrades of The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD and the substantial Resident Evil reimaginings in recent years. It certainly isn't attempting to change things up as much as the newer Final Fantasy VII titles. This is a relatively straightforward, modernized remake of the original, which is in no way a complaint. Snake Eater has such a distinct personality that to make too many tweaks would risk losing much of what made it special. Delta's dev team is walking a tightrope with such a beloved title, and everything I saw during my return to the Virtuous Mission has me confident that they're handling this with a deft hand.
Ooh-wee. Matt Purslow over at IGN. The project lead told me that he wanted, quote, to avoid a situation where the series will be forgotten in time. And the goal of Delta was to make sure we deliver the game as faithful as possible so it doesn't take away from the nostalgia aspect. Delta would have seen the team upgrade and enhance Snake Eater with ideas from Phantom Pain and beyond, offering the same story and objectives but in more of a modern and more flexible and more a reactive stealth hunting ground. That could have been made the remake to topple Resident Evil 2 from its perch. Instead, Delta is shaping up to be little more than a prettier, more intuitive version of 2004's most essential stealth game.
And the final impression we have here comes from Jordan Midler over at VGC. And Jordan writes, "A Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is a temperature check for the return of the franchise, then so far it's doing an incredible job. It feels incredible to play, it looks excellent, and it retains all the campy nonsense that makes Metal Gear so beloved. It's like Konami sat down and said, quote, what doesn't hold up about MGS3? And laser targeted those things while leaving the things that made it so unique alone. We couldn't be more confident about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater as a package, and we're desperate to play more."
Ooh, Kyle, I was surprised at these impressions, man. I mean, we know that this is not a 2024 game. This is somewhere out. It looks like seemingly closer than we think, though.
Sure.
I mean, if we're getting these impressions this quick.
Yeah.
They also teased, hey, listen, the Master Collection Volume 1 had some games in it. We understand that Guns of the Patriots is, still on the stuck on the PS3. Can't say anything more than that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, my question to you, Kyle, are you going to be getting Delta when it comes out? Has these previews persuaded you?
No, and it's nothing against these impressions. It's just
How dare you?
I still have to play the OG ones. Like I can't hop into the third one. Yeah. Even though I think chronologically this is the first one. I don't know what the time period is or whatever. But I prefer to play all of them ahead of the newest version of it. So it's just going to be a little bit before I get to it, if I ever get to it, if I'm totally honest. I want to.
How dare you?
Like, I tried it when I was younger, and I didn't love it because I wasn't patient as a stealth person when I was younger. So, who knows?
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. For me, and Jiminy's he was upset at you in the back. Jiminy the Cricket's back, and it looks like he's
upset with
co-hostess
me?
with the Yeah, because he's like, how dare you? How dare you? Metal Gear Solid is the best.
Jimmy's going to get his back broken by me in 30 seconds.
All right. Listen, he's going to be here for another episode or two, and then he's going to die, Only
this
for
is
another
probably
Jiminy
number 4 since we talked last week,
Oh, my God. Yeah, last week alone. I am but his kin. Jiminy the Fourth. I'm very interested. Now that I'm way more into stealth-based games, shout out to Hitman really opening my eyes to the genre, and really being into them now. I am very interested in Delta. I'm on a similar boat though. I need to play the originals, and right now we've hit the time where I didn't get to them during the summer, didn't get to them in the first winter. But now we hit the holiday season. I mean, we're reviewing Outlaws. We got Space Marine, Astrobot, all that stuff. There literally is no time until maybe the end of December to get on this wagon. Hopefully, Metal Gear Solid Delta Remake is like summer or late spring, and then maybe I'm gonna have time to jump into it. Yeah. That's all I got right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Let's get into some sad news, shall we?
Look,
talk about Concord.
Hold on. Kyle says, I think Kips looks like a cricket. Who's Kips?
Yeah, who's Kips? Let's fight him. Whoever this is, we're going to find him and kick his ass.
Unless you're saying Kyle looks like a cricket, which I don't know. That's fine.
Do you have 6 arms?
Anyways,
Oh,
from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. Sony live service shooter Concord debuts to a tragic 697 concurrent players on Steam. Thank you, Kyle. This is one of the Concord characters, Kips. Sony's live service shooter Concord, available on PS5 and PC, has debuted to a tragic 697 peak concurrent players on Steam. Data from player tracking website SteamDB reveals Concord, which debuted on August 20th, 2024, through the $59.99 Digital Deluxe Edition or August 23rd through the $39.99 Standard Edition, had a peak player count of 697 on August 23rd. Helldivers 2, another live service game from Sony, which launched in February 2024, hit a peak concurrent player count of 155,926 during its opening weekend. Hold on, let me take a second here.
okay.
The finals hit 242,619, and even Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, which was dubbed a disappointment by Warner Brothers Discovery boss David Zaslav and caused a $200 million hit to revenue, debuted with 12,786 peak concurrent players on Steam. Concord's is just 5% of that number. This comes after 8 years of development and presumably tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars spent by Sony, a company already shifting gears away from a live service heavy future. Sony president Hiroki Totoki committed to launching just 6 of 12 live service games in development, and one based on The Last of Us has already been canceled. Why do we have to compare numbers like we're fucking calculators? I don't understand.
Beep boop zip
Beep
zorp.
boop, beep boop,
I don't know,
boop.
man. I don't know, man. Ask Paul Tassi. Enigma writes, one thing I have to say is, F the haters. Enjoy
Yeah.
what you're playing. Thanks, guys. Stingray X writes, no question, just a statement. Concord love. Concord is life. Kyle Stevenson,
Mhm.
yeah, I get so tired. And this question, I want to really just put Kildane up to bat here. I get so tired of the fad that Paul Tassi has created that is, hey, let me go look at a SteamDB page so I could write a 2-minute read article on it that you're going to click, not because you need the information for it, because the information's right there in the title,
Mhm.
but for you to react to in the comment section to give him more ad revenue. Like, can we stop? I'm getting tired of it. I
Mhm.
hate it. It's like, listen, Paul may be the pioneer who's made it popular, but we see it constantly. Like Redfall, great example. The Wandering Dutch called out PC Gamer, where PC Gamer is like, "Hey, can we stop doing this?" And then he's like, "Is this you?" And it's Prey has more live players than Redfall at launch. It's like we keep that same energy. I'm tired of reading the bullet point statistics of things. And this is not me being the adamant defender of Concord, because we're going to get to this question. I think I'm going to trigger a few folks here. I understand that it is a metric that is very important, but let's have Kildane who writes in, just like you can too. Send us your questions, join the Discord. I ask for your questions, you deliver them each and every Wednesday to me, just like Kildane here writes. I think the Concord is dead narrative is a little overblown. Maybe it's dying on PC from the Steam numbers, but we didn't have those numbers. Would we be so worried? I have played every day since Friday during the daytimes, sometimes at night, outside of the rivalry modes. The queue times are good, and this is with me turning off crossplay. Sorry, PC players. I don't think you got to worry about them. There's like 5 of them out there. It didn't take off on Steam, but I don't think this would be a real conversation if it were just on PS5. It's not going to be a top seller, but it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, yes, when everyone jumped on their YouTube channels and proclaimed the game to be dead on arrival. It never got a chance. The game is fun, well balanced, well, agree to disagree, and has had very, very few technical issues. Haters killed this game, and then they went to make 5 more videos on why it's dead or celebrating the low Steam number counts. It goes back to what we were talking about 2 weeks ago, Kyle. We just want to see things fail.
Yep. I'm real
Because
tired of it.
I'm tired of it, because the real realization is, audience, come with me here. These people are going to lose their jobs. right? Like that's the thing that hollows me inside. And we talk about it as if it were just like ESPN Sports Center. And I hate how cavalier we've all become to this. These are people's jobs on the line, guys. Why are we cheerleading for people to fail? Like, why are we cheerleading for games to bomb? This is not why we make content here on the Trophy Room. It's not so that we could cheerlead PlayStation and hope every single Xbox game fails. It's not why we do this. It's not. Video games are fun. They're an escape for people. And I'm so sick and tired for people to make this a bullet point as to, I don't know, they put pronouns in the game or like, you know, first off, is not sexy enough, the vacuum cleaner guy. Like, you know, I'm so sick and tired. This is not why we talk about games. Games are not being ruined just strictly because of corporations. It's also for people that constantly bet against games to do things differently, to take on genres differently. And that's not to say that you can't be critical of games ever. We are critical of games all the time. But it's just about being mindful. Instead, we have YouTube content creators, not even when the game was in beta yet, saying, why did this game fail? And they get thousands of hits on the video. It makes me sick. They don't love games. They just love to see the little check mark being the little heart, the little thumbs up that they get when they put out a video. This has nothing to do with video games. I'm sick and tired of it. And really, in the broader sense, it's not just Concord. For me, it's every other game that comes out. We're rubbing our hands together going, okay, how am I going to get a click on this? I don't know, Kyle. Am I out of touch here? Because this just pisses me off.
No, you're definitely not out of touch.
This is my lawbreakers, and I'm fine with it.
I just want to reiterate what you said. It is okay that this game isn't the best thing in the world, right? Like,
right.
I've read a bunch of reviews, and even you yourself, like, you're enjoying the game. You love playing it. You're having a great time. But everyone can also acknowledge that it's not perfect. There are things that can be done better. And when it comes to like a live service game in particular, the devs are going to do whatever they can to make it better and fix it and whatnot. And this is me not having played in the final version. This is me playing in the betas, and I had an awesome time. I'm not a multiplayer gamer. I had a great time with it. It's just coming in a tough time of the year for me where I can't play it right now. And
listen,
again, it's a live service game, something that, you know, PlayStation players and the fan base don't have a lot of history with, because it's kind of like a new thing for a first party multiplayer focused thing outside of Helldivers earlier this year. I can't think of another one in the last couple of years. I could be completely wrong, but like,
yeah.
Tommy,
Kyle in the chat here.
Why does Tommy
Kyle
think I want
8122.
Xbox to bomb? I don't know. I didn't say that.
I don't know. Kyle 8122 writes, "What are you on about? The vacuum isn't sexy enough." I mean, it is awfully sexy.
And he said also, yeah, people did the same thing with Hellblade on the Xbox side. It's like ridiculous.
And it pisses me off. I mean, listen, as we were talking, I saw a little troll in the chat. They're muted. Have fun in Bizarro World. It's great over there. You have fun talking to a wall. You're not welcome here. I'm sick and tired of these conversations. You're right. Hellblade, from what I understand from my friends, is a great game. It's great, and it sucks that it didn't crack whatever number that people wanted it to crack. It's still a great game. That company is still doing pretty well just on their mocap sets alone. Why are we constantly going like, Xbox has no true exclusives, PlayStation actually has no games? It's like, shut up. Please, we could talk about these things and have some nuances to them. Like Dewane said in the chat, it sucks for the devs, but it's 8 years too late. That's a good excuse. The fact that this game is 8 years old to market, where games that helped usher in this genre, like Overwatch, are also, they hit their peak. I wouldn't say struggling, I don't know, but hit their peak.
That is a great point, and something that I wanted to bring up earlier, and it completely went away from my brain. This is a result of what happens when you chase a fad.
Yep.
and you're a little too late to the trigger.
Right.
And you don't have an already established IP, because I will write you the headlines in December when Marvel Rivals comes out.
Mm-hmm.
This is what a hero
3 weeks
shooter should
afterwards.
be. Like, you know what? Like,
And then 3 weeks afterwards, it's lost 70% of its community. It's like
exactly. Like it's
clockwork.
years ago when they were like, yeah, let's make a hero shooter, because it was a relatively fresh thing. They were all chasing the Overwatch thing.
Yeah.
Games take a long time to develop, and now that they're here, that trend has become a little bit of like a fad, and like you can't stand up to the ones that do it the best. You can't stand up to an Overwatch. You can't stand up to a Valorant. You can't stand up to I know there is another one that I am blanking on.
Paladins. Like there's just
and also like let's not forget that during this time, Valve also is like, you know what? Let's drop our shooter too, in the same thing.
And it's a MOBA as well.
Exactly.
It's
it's a flooded market already, and it's ridiculous.
And listen, why do we talk about these numbers, right? It is a metric to look, and it is based off some sort of fact. Like, take a look at Suicide Squad, right? 12,000 users at its peak. That game was a $200+ million project. Yeah, we didn't see the PlayStation numbers, we didn't see the Xbox numbers, but they came out going, yeah, this was a devastating loss for us. So like we can assume by the anecdotal knowledge that we have here and the fact that it's on number 45 of like the overall top selling games, though it's like 6th best selling new game, those numbers still might not be all too great depending on PlayStation's investment, where they were at with this game in terms of the money given. It sucks because this game is great. There is truth to these numbers, but it's something that I hate that we hearken on so much. And yeah, like the self-fulfilling prophecy that we do have. How do we come back from this, right? Cowboy Danger D writes in, good morning and howdy, everybody. Concord may have had some low numbers for Steam, but if you actually talk about folks who have been playing the game, they actually are having fun with it. I think this game shouldn't go free to play just yet, but at least have PlayStation Plus users get a free trial run or a free monthly game to let other people see how fun it could be. I honestly think that might be a move to boost numbers.
I think that's a great plan.
Yeah, I think we've seen a few betas. I think this is one thing that we talked about a few weeks back of like one critique is that publishers don't give devs enough time to get that audience going. They just kill it way too fast. I hope that this game does get its year. I hope it gets a few months to show promise to start pumping out content that people do, like offer free weekends as well to folks to play it and try it out. Because there is something here. This is genuinely a really fun game. Like there are balancing issues.
Sure.
There are some characters that are a little broken at this point in time.
I know from my time in the beta, there were some I was like that rocket lady just slamming down, killing me instantly. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But like that said, though there's some balancing issues, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Like my thoughts have not changed since the preview. I think this is a very good game. I'm having fun. This comes from someone who loved Overwatch. That was their game of the year, me, in 2017. It's not as good as Overwatch. Let's just get that out of the way. But it is a very solid, fun time, and I'm having a blast with it. You just got to keep showing people why they should be invested in it. At the same exact time, though, 100 plus, it hasn't cracked 1,000. That is devastating. I can't underscore that enough. That is a devastating number. Golem performed better than that. And I think it goes to show how PlayStation did they just put this thing out to pasture before it even started? Did they have a change of heart? Because the marketing just was not here for this game.
I think the Gollum thing is a little disingenuous just because I think most people played that game because they heard how terrible it was. And it was a single player thing. It's easy to hop in and hop out and be like, God, this is awful, make a YouTube video here or there. But like Concord's a multiplayer game. So
Fair.
like that's already kind of a high barrier to entry. I also would love to bring up the point that I have real issues looking back on it, how this game was unveiled
Yeah.
and the rollout of what this game is. I feel it in my bones that if we got more early looks as to what this game is and the cinematics of the characters in action a few months ago,
Yep.
I feel like this would be a different tune.
100%.
Of like that first teaser was just a ship. We didn't know nothing about it
sandwich?
except
Yeah.
for what we heard. It was made by a team of people who do first-person shooters,
Yep.
and we assumed it was a live service game. But we didn't see any gameplay until a few months ago. I feel like if they unraveled it a little bit more and build hype in like more places, I feel like there'd be more people in and more people excited about it. I'm not saying the quality would be better and the score would be better. I'm just thinking I think the conversation would be a little bit different.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the rollout was poor. I think it's not that this game wasn't great. I think it was poor partner, a poor partner in a PlayStation. There you go. That was the word I wanted to use. Yeah, you put this out 2 months later, it debuts, and no real fanfare around it other than 2 betas. Yeah, man. Like, why don't you pull out the big guns for this? Also, from the first trailer we saw, this was supposed to be a free to play game because it said, free characters or like unlocked characters like on the other side. So like, I also think the monetization was wrong for this game. I think they saw the success of Helldivers and went, oh, we could charge for games, multiplayer games, and put it out there, and people were like, no, you actually can't. Not for games like this, especially when like Overwatch, if I'm not mistaken, is free to play. It is a better time. So, it is what it is. I would love to see them pull out a win here, but I am also doubtful that it will. I'm gonna try to get for the platinum.
Hell yeah.
Get to level 100 seems like it's the hardest one. I definitely can do that. So that's Concord. And again, this isn't my plea to like, please be nice and never say anything bad about a dev. It's just like, just be mindful. Just be mindful. Don't be like the troll in the chat.
Give actual criticism.
Actual fair criticism,
Yeah.
Like Val, maybe her hitbox is a little bit bigger. Maybe her reload's a little faster,
Sure.
right? The sniper lady, because she's really hard to use. But when you get a few kills with her, it's intoxicating. All right, Kyle. That said, let's talk about this one. This one technically is a flash news because I don't think.
And we
have
kind of
much to
already
say on
touched on it
Yeah.
with Luke in chat. PS5 price is getting increased in Japan. This comes from Zarmina Khan, PS Lifestyle. We won't go crazy into it, but Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced its third PS5 price increase in Japan starting in September. Both the PS5 disc and digital model will see their price tags hiked by 13,000 yen, which translates to a little less than $100. Additionally, prices of various accessories, including the DualSense, are also going up. Sony announced Japan's latest price increase on the regional PS blog this morning, and as you can imagine, the news wasn't well received. Not only are PS5 and all its accessories, including headsets and PS Portal, going to become more expensive, but the already struggling PSVR VR2 is also going to cost more, starting on September 2nd.
All right, Kyle. I know the answer to this.
Yeah.
And it's really boring, and it's one that I found out a few months ago. But it's going to make me sound smart here. Here in the States and globally, we've been going through something called inflation. Well, Japan's economy for the past 40 so years have been going through something called deflation, right? Various, very political things that I'm not privy to because I'm not Japanese. I don't live there. Shocker. But their economy has kind of just stagnated over the past few years. And with COVID coming in there, it wreaked havoc on that country's economy. So deflation is really, really bad over there. So it's not just PlayStation hiking up prices of things. It's literally everything. You saw people's entire savings account being halved because of what's going on over there. So if you thought, gas is $3, this is pretty, it is, but man, it could be $30 a gallon. So that's why the price increase. It's not corporate greed. It's just this is the situation at hand. Their economy is in a really rough go at it. So economy. All right, Kyle, let's talk about the one I want to talk about. Let's get to it.
This comes from Victory Kennedy. Is it Victory or Victoria?
Victoria Kennedy.
There you go.
No
Victoria
relations.
Kennedy.
No relations.
From Eurogamer. Victoria writes, Star Wars Outlaws PS5 players asked to start all new save to avoid progression blocking bugs. A number of Star Wars Outlaws players have been advised to restart their game with a new save file to avoid problems with progression. Ubisoft last night emailed some PS5 players asking them to update their copy of Outlaws to the latest version following a chunky bug busting patch. Quote, to best experience the Outer Rim, we rolled out a maintenance to make sure everyone is playing the latest version of the game. Ubisoft's email reads, as one of the players affected who had access to an older version of the game, we are aware you might be encountering some issues after this recent patch. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused, end quote. Ubisoft asked those affected players to, quote, start a new save to fully enjoy Outlaws as our team intended. It noted that if players continue to play on an earlier save file, they will unfortunately face issues and progression blockers. This news from Ubisoft has caused some discontent among Star Wars Outlaws players who had paid more to gain early access via the gold and ultimate editions of the game. Quote, I just got this email this morning. Wish I knew that before I played 5 hours last night. Honestly, this game is testing my patience, complained one such player over on Reddit. I'm disgusted. Paid $110 and played all night. 12-hour stretch. I added another. This is how Ubi thanks us. And a quick also update to this one.
Yeah.
They also are offering a little trinket for your ship as your
Isn't that
trouble. That's so nice.
Sweet.
That you still have
Guys,
to play a certain amount of time to unlock, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Guys, let's get real with each other here. Stop buying, first off, stop pre-ordering games. If you don't have to, don't do it. Stop buying early access games. How many times do we hear, oh, this game has a troubled launch, it's a buggy launch, and then there's a day one patch applied to it. Like, early access, you're literally the beta. The beta user. Like, you're testing it out. You're just getting the buggier version until it gets patched out a week or two afterwards. Stop doing this. The game is great. I like it a lot. It's not worth $110 to get disappointed because it is, at the end of the day, an Ubisoft game, and Ubisoft games are normally pretty buggy at launch. That's their reputation, right? So part of it's like, yeah, no, I feel you. This sucks. But the other part's like, you do know what you're buying, right? This is Ubisoft. Like, their games come out pretty hot. Usually most of the time. Even like, not even, I think Prince of Persia was like the first game that didn't need, a whole bunch of patches at launch. This is par for the course. So at one point I'm like, yeah, I feel you. You're excited, but they're literally just taxing you an extra $40 to see if, you'll buy it a little early. So you play it a little early. Like,
and they combine it with like the promise of DLC and some extra cosmetic stuff to make it seem like you're getting more, but day one, it's the base game.
Yeah.
All that extra stuff you're not getting until way later, and you can just buy those separately.
Pretty much. I mean, there's a few things, like there's a Han Solo and Lando stuff that's like a cool little bonus, but like, I never use them because Kay's a different character. I don't want that.
Thank you. That's my biggest thing is like, I don't want to wear outfits that are based on another character because this is their own character and their own person. Yeah. I don't know. It feels weird.
Jiminy's like, no, it's normal.
He watched me play 15 hours of it. He knows.
There you go. No, that was his grandpappy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that said, Delicious Morsels writes in, good day, gents. It's been a scorcher here in Michigan. Same here in Jersey, dude. Jesus Christ. These last few days, I hope you're navigating it as best as you can in your neck of the woods and staying hydrated. I got a big old cup of water right here. I need to start drinking it because I'm sweaty. I gotta say, as a major lover of Star Wars with a massive love-hate relationship with Ubisoft games, seeing the reviews come in for Star Wars Outlaws doesn't surprise me, but does have me a little sad. I was hoping they'd knock it out of the park. My question, Did Outlaws need to launch this year? Ubisoft is about to drop its biggest Assassin's Creed game to date. One that fans have been asking for a better part of a decade or more, which is sure to be a major financial success for them. Is it clear that Outlaws needed more time in the oven and perhaps fared better given another 9 to 12 months? Hell, even another 6 with an early 2025 launch may have helped. Or would it have? Let me know your thoughts. As always, love you guys and keep up the great work. Reading is hard for me.
It's fine. It's hot.
It's hot. It's a scorcher out there.
Tommy,
Yeah,
you're in
no.
chat saying 73 and sunny in Seattle. How dare you?
How dare you, you son of a gun. You get the one sunny day and you're bragging about it.
And you get PAX West. How dare you? I hope you go and have a great time.
Where do you get off? Okay, so the bugs, first and foremost. Would more time would have helped? Yeah, absolutely. They also know they have a Star Wars game and an Assassin's Creed game. And so you want to give both of those enough time so that you don't hinder each other's sales. I think launching Avatar in December hurt them. There was nothing for that game. And then it came out and it was kind of like a fart in the wind. There's an argument to be had. Maybe if you held on to it for a bit longer, maybe you released it in March, and given them that time to just iron out all the kinks to it would have helped. I am not the best person to ask because though I've ran into bugs, and it's very strange for me to say this has been one of the more smoother Ubisoft launches for me. So I haven't had the restart my game. I've had 2 or 3 crashes, but nothing for, I had to restart from square one. Knock on wood. That has not happened to me. But could it have? Yes, but that just means it's more money for Ubisoft to hold on to or to spend. And what does Disney want from them too? Does Disney want this game to come out this year? Would they be disappointed? How disappointed will they? Would they be? Or other questions you got to ask yourself, I think at this point in time, maybe delaying it until the end of September maybe would have helped you a little bit more, is my thought. Because again, from my experience, hasn't been awful in terms of bugs, has been pretty solid. So to me, maybe another month, but even then, you don't want to be in a crowded field. I don't know. What say you, Kyle?
Sure. No, I agree with you, and I don't. We're gonna talk about our thoughts on it later, right?
Yeah.
When what you've been playing.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we could talk about it with Drellish's question, actually.
Sure. Yeah. I don't want to go too far into it, unless we're gonna talk about it later. But yeah, I think a little bit of a delay would have helped big time. There are some things I feel like could have made for a smoother experience if there was a little bit of a small delay. I don't know if a full year would have helped it any. I think the bones were there already. It's just polish. I don't think. We'll get into it in a second. But go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. Jiminy, I think was pissing you off there.
A little bit.
He was really on a roll. There. I have to say a few things. Drellish writes
He's trying so hard to be my Knicks, and I don't want him anywhere near me.
Please, Papa, please. What are these? Are just cries for love, man. What are these? No? Okay. Drellish writes in, greetings, gents. Now that Star Wars Outlaws has been released, how are both of you feeling about it? It has faced some criticism for its underdeveloped narrative, technical issues, and shallow character development. My issue is none of that. I just get that this sense of developers have played it a little bit too safe. So I just increased the difficulty level to see if that changes anything. Question: what aspects of Star Wars Outlaws do you think best captures the magic of the Star Wars universe, and how can Ubisoft's future Star Wars games improve on these elements? I have a cousin that works at Ubisoft, and he/she might be listening. Her name is Uma Ubisoft.
We had no idea that Eve's named it after Ubisoft. Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. So
Also,
okay.
to note, Ubisoft provided us with codes.
Thank you, Ubisoft. Very, very
Much
kind of you.
appreciated.
So yeah, and they didn't pay us anything. Weird YouTube comments that are bound to come. We have to disclose if they did, a FTC thing. So yes, thank you, Ubisoft, for providing us codes. Yes, they were provided us with previews, i.e. 2 weeks ago show. That said, I actually kind of like this. I want to start with, I think, the negatives first, and then like work our way through this question. So, Kyle, you're 16 hours in. I have beaten the game as of this episode goes live. What do you feel about this game's narrative? Did it strike any chords with you, or did it kind of just go with a whimper?
So to put it in perspective, 16 hours in, I have finally met the other character that's on the cover art
Fair.
of the game.
So you're scratching that service. Holy shoot.
I'm very much like, it's an Ubisoft game. I'm doing everything possible in the open world before I progress the main story. So I don't think I've seen enough of the main story to be like the narrative's underbaked or whatnot.
Right.
I can tell you that I've loved moments of it narratively. I mean, Kay and Nyx are awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of the information brokers that you talk with are really, really cool. I even enjoy the first little friend Waka up until a certain point, and then like there are aspects of there I totally love. But then when you get into the gameplay thing, I'm like, man, this is
so
wild.
So
Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I have thoughts. So narrative, it doesn't hit the peaks that we know of Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, right? This comes from a big Star Wars fan. I've played most of the Star Wars games to date, and I would say that this has a pretty good story. It's nothing that really I'm going to remember all too much of, unfortunately. I think for the most part, the characters are solid, but none of them really hit home much. I think there's a lot of promise with Kay. I just don't like not to say that her performance was weak. I think some of the choices they made in the booth, I wouldn't have. But I think the strongest character is Nyx. And that's not to underscore anything like a problem with any of the characters. They really understood the assignment of like what is a companion supposed to feel like and what your relationship to what is the core gameplay mechanic or one of, which is Nyx fetching you stuff and solving puzzles for you. They nailed that right. And so her relationship with Nyx feels really great. I just don't like how they portrayed or how they told Kay's story. I think they could have done it a different way, akin to that of an Uncharted 3, how those two meet. That could have been done here better than it being told in parts. I just didn't vibe with it. It took too long for me to get invested in the story. That being said, when it comes to like the smuggler feel, right? Like what a Han Solo type is, they understood the assignment. This is awesome.
I'm going to even expand on that.
Yeah.
As a casual Star Wars fan, the world of Outlaws, if you are a Star Wars fan, you are going to absolutely love. And I have not seen beyond the first planet, so I can only imagine what the other ones are. But like every single cantina you walk into, walking through the markets, seeing it being alive and bustling, and people are always around, and droids traveling to and fro, and stormtroopers patrolling the streets. It is so alive. And then even when you get into the seedy underground, like
Cantinas.
or what about the factions, right? And they each have different feels, and that is so cool, and the detail is amazing. I love that. Is easily my favorite part of this game.
Yeah, the atmosphere. That's why you pick Massive, man. That's why you pick Ubisoft to do this. This is the first open world Star Wars game, and you picked, to me, the best person to do it because these are the people that literally recreated what was it? Recreated chapels so well that like the government of France took their screenshots when they needed to repair it. Like this is they're so in depth with everything they do when it turns to like world building that Kyle, this is not a what a spoiler. This is one of the planets you go to. The first 5 minutes of Tatooine has so much fan service for a Star Wars fan of any level. Like it gives you the basic, go out and explore a little bit. You're gonna see some things that are like, oh, I saw this in a movie, or I saw this in a show, or this is a one-off line in an obscure Star Wars show, or this is a one-off line in A New Hope, and they again they go into those aspects of things. So like when you walk into Mos Eisley, it gives you the feel of the Star Wars New Hope 90s cut, right? And then you can also see some elements that they may have gotten inspired from the Battlefront games to even some of the parts of the Book of Boba Fett as well. A lot of parts actually. So like they understood and went deep into the lore when it came to world building. That it is from the preview still stands as this is just as a Star Wars fan, Star Wars fans made this game. Um, it's just incredible in that aspect of just like, yeah, you walk into a town and you're like, oh my God, like, yeah, it's bustling. Like this feels like an actual city. It's really awesome. It's really beautiful too. There's a few other planets you go to, no spoilers, where I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for a PlayStation 5 Pro because this is jaw-droppingly beautiful. And again, one-off lines that like if you liked Solo, you're gonna like squeal like I did at a certain couple of scenes. Like it's just, man, they understood the assignment, you know? I mean, you get to see Jabba the Hutt, and when I tell you guys, whew, it's Jabba's palace. Like it's gorgeous. The world building's insane. Yeah.
Even having like an actual fully played version of Sabak, which is kind of
Yes.
fun too. Like
It's kind of fun, and then you also understand how shit it is because everybody's
Yeah.
cheating.
exactly. Yeah.
So like
They nailed the vibe.
They nailed the vibe, man. I can't preach higher to how much
like,
I love the atmosphere of this game.
It wasn't until a certain point, like
Don't you, Don? Thank you, Nissa.
Oh yeah. Going through like the city, the first major city. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But like you see these little icons where you can interact and you can like lean or like sit down. And you're like, why would I ever do that? And then eventually you do that.
You hear some bullshit.
You hear some bullshit that leads to a quest. Or like intel for you to go and explore and then do smuggler things. And like in other open world games, having that option to just sit on a bench, like I think of like Stellar Blade, right? You sit on a chair for what? To rest for no in-game reason whatsoever. That's what I thought, and then I realized, oh, I have to hit every single one of these so I can get all the intel I possibly can that can help me unlock a schematic or unlock a thing to do for a skill or whatever. Like it's very, very cool.
And the one thing that like people always complain about Ubisoft games, right? It's like, oh, it's a checklist. This feels like they were inspired by Red Dead Redemption and Ghost of Tsushima. Like there are times where you're on foot and then Nix is just like chip, 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 and she's like, what do you want, Nix? And you follow him to a beautiful vista where you get to sit back, relax, and see the scenery, or you get to uncover like a little trinket that you get to, put on Nix or whatever have you. Like you're constantly wandering into things and you're stopping on your bike to go, and I don't know, all of a sudden there's a fight between the Imperials and a pirate camp that they just found out about, right? That's a constant one. Or yeah, you hear from just leaning on like a bar stool that like, hey, we have like some goods that's like around this area of this map. We should get to it sometime. and you're like, oh shoot, and you actually kind of have to go and like they give you like a vague idea where this treasure could be, and you're going
You
off
got to
and
read the
exploring.
map and be like, it's southwest from this point on the map, and then you got to go and find
Exactly.
it on your own. Like, that's cool.
It's cool. The open world's so much fun. And even like some of the bases that you get to
In aspects. I have some
in
issues with
aspects.
open world, but we'll get into that.
I mean, let's talk about the technical issues. There are technical issues in
Well,
this game.
before we get to the technical stuff,
Yes.
one of my biggest issues with this open world that I feel like other Ubisoft open worlds do not run into.
Yeah.
It is so hard to find where to access higher places.
Okay.
Like, you're like,
Yes.
yeah, it's here. Okay, I am circling this giant plateau. I'm not seeing any identifiable visual markers to
Yep.
hook my grapple hook up. I don't see any of like, and again, this is why things are yellow in video games,
Yellow.
so you can see. I don't see where I can jump onto. Like, the traversal parkour thing is also very simple, and
Yeah.
I feel like in the big set pieces, like the one we talked about earlier, which I don't want to spoil, you
Mhm.
come across like an old crashed cruiser, like a starship, and you're traversing it. It's very Uncharted like, but it's so simple, and there's no like looking around to see where you go. Everything is just so perfectly laid out for you, and it's just like you're going through the motions. There's no discovery in those moments, which I'm not a huge fan of.
It's in the places where it's linear, it kind of loses the what
Yeah.
makes the open world so great is
Sure.
the discovery aspect.
Mhm.
Because you're right, like the thing about platforming, especially in games like this, like your Uncharted, like or Ghost of Tsushima, like, is you don't have the chance of missing. Like where you get the oh shit, I hope I make the jump, and you do, and you feel like yes, I did it. Like that, there was some risk there. It's a little bit too laid out. You're right, and in other times in the open world, the one thing that I love, it's a blessing and a curse, is like when you get into a fortress, there's easily 5 ways of going about it. So much so that like sometimes you're trying to find a hidden cache and you're like, where's the yellow thing? 'Cause it's up on this ledge and everything else is inaccessible. So like, where is it? Sometimes it's just not laid out well enough. You're right. That's a great point. Technical issues, man. Yeah, there is
Cool.
some from your graphical stuff, like it suffers from
I
the
had sunlight, rays of light go through a wall and
Yep.
ruin the inside of a building because I couldn't see anything because it was so bright in there. Like,
Yeah.
it's wild.
sometimes there's weird texture stuff,
Her
like
hair,
who's
Kay's
not
hair is a little off.
a little off. Who's not a main character by how many textures they have on their face. Like it is muddy at times. It's weird because sometimes this is one of the most beautiful games I've ever
Oh
seen,
my god!
and then other times it's like
Every time
yikes.
you uncover, like you were mentioned before, when Nyx is like chirp chirp, follow me.
Yeah.
You uncover one of those things. The most beautiful vista. I
Oh.
instantly take a photo of that because it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Technical issues. I did crash 3 times on a specific mission in space. But other than that, for me, it's been kind of like weird graphical bugs.
Oh boy.
The thing that I have, you go for it, Kyle, because you've had technical stuff.
Man, I had one of those spur of the moment missions in the open world where like, hey, protect these farmers from rebels, or not rebels, vigilante, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And they spawned and
Everyone's-
they didn't come to
Mm.
the farm. I had to travel halfway across the map
Yep.
to kill them and then race back because the others spawned in. Like,
Yeah.
it was
little weird.
very strange.
A little weird. Yeah.
Uh,
That's happened to me too.
a lot of other things of like, I think that the AI stuff is probably my biggest issue.
And that's where we get into the gameplay aspect. These
Especially,
AI are dumb.
they're real dumb, and one of my biggest complaints is, have you, in like an Imperial compound, right? The outposts of this game, if you say it's an outpost.
Yeah.
I got cornered into a room. The alarm was going off.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, There's like 5 stormtroopers left. I'll eliminate them all. I'll be good to go. I can just leave. We're good. I kill those 5 stormtroopers. 30 spawn instantly. It's like, oh no. I kill them all.
Yep.
30 more spawn. I was there for 30 minutes because I couldn't leave because it was infinite spawning. Unlike, the Far Cry games where you take out everyone from the outpost, you're good. This one is just like, it was infinitely spawning. I was like, this is...
That was a glitch.
Unbearable. I hate this.
I had something happen to me similar in a level, not an outpost per se, but in a level. Yeah, the AI in this game are dumb. I feel like one of the mistakes of this game was it tries to be sometimes Splinter Cell, and then it tries to be Uncharted, and it doesn't know which one it wants to be.
Yeah.
Especially early on. Early on, it's like, hey, there's stealth mechanics here, but how you gain abilities is you go through these brokers that you meet. Great concept, poor execution, because if you don't meet that broker, you don't get those abilities. So you feel rather naked very early on, very bare of just like what you have at your disposal. Once you get to the mid game, that's where stealth opens up. That's where you get, you could get Nyx to do something where he jumps on someone's face. It's called Havoc, and he just starts shooting wildly and starts shooting at everybody.
That's cool.
It's great. Or he detonates thermal detonators. Oh my God, yes, amazing. It opens up rather well, but in the middle.
It's a little too obtuse with how we get those skills unlocked.
Exactly. So that's my one issue is that early on, I could see why people were like, stealth's rather bare.
And I want to say, friend of the show, Steve Avari, tweeted this. And I thought it was just a me thing. And if it wasn't Steve, I apologize to whoever it was. But he tweeted, or whoever was tweeted, a clip of Kay climbing up a ledge, right, in one of the underworld factions, like their base. And you're trying to be sneaky, you can't be seen, whatever. And climbs up, and instead of immediately going into a crouch position, you stand up and the whole base gets alerted. Like it's those little tiny things that when you're trying to be sneaky and you think you're doing it perfect, the game says no, and will actively work against you, I feel like. And when it comes to the combat, it's the punching is simple as possible, or melee. The blaster is fine. The other weapons are cool when you pick them up, but I'd much rather try to stealth my way through and shooting is the last resort kind of thing.
Sometimes, see, I get what they want you to be a scoundrel, right? Where I feel like they took what they wanted to take from Han Solo going like, everything's all right here, everything's fine, no, don't, and then he shoots the communication. He's like, boring conversation anyway. That's what this game tries to invoke. But sometimes, like, I'll alert a guard from across the map, and I'm like inside a base, and I'm like, how does this work? Again, it's those weird things that happen. Overall, though, as the game progresses, again, I think it's just one of those things where it's like an Ubisoft, we're going to take our time in the beginning, maybe too long. The combat really starts to open up, introduces different enemy variant types and different ways of disposing with them, that the gameplay gets a lot better towards the middle of the game. It's just a really long ramp up to get there. And depending on whether you want to be the stealth guy and only stealth, or action guy and only action, the gameplay never becomes great. It's always good or meh. It's never like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. This is like, oh, this is very good. I can see what they're doing here and how they'll build off of it on a sequel. Maybe
it's just because I don't play many of these style of games, and you have more experience with this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the space combat was kind of fun.
Yes,
that's not terrible. Like when you actually get into space and you're fighting, and I think the space vistas are also incredibly gorgeous too.
Oh my God, yeah.
But like all the space debris, I don't know the further planets, whatever. But like,
you get to the second level,
it's so cool, and I thought I would be terrible at it, but it's a lot of fun.
Yep,
that part is fun. I don't mind that.
Yeah. That said, yeah, the one thing it feels like it wants to be the jack of all Ubisoft games, just the master of none. So again, there's some really good gameplay here. They do take some things from Watch Dogs. They do take some things from what's it? Splinter Cell, Silent Hill. And
There's
they do,
Far Cry, there's Assassin. It's all in
yeah.
there.
It's a greatest hits album from time to time, but it's a welcomed greatest hits.
Mr.
Like,
Popo in chat, just really quickly, is space combat compared to Starfield less complicated than Starfield, or
way less complicated than Starfield. Yeah. And way less clunkier. It's going to feel like a more streamlined version of Rogue Squadron. And it feels pretty darn good, man. I love what they did there, even with the space stuff and the space combat, and the interactions that you have when you go to space stations in Star Wars. It feels like, again, it just feels like God, when they hit the vibe so well. It just feels like Star Wars, man. Like, again, even with some technical issues and the combat not being the best, it's still, in essence, to me, Kyle, if you are a hardcore Star Wars fan, you need to get this game.
Day one, get it.
Day one.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Shortcoming aside, like, I'm not a massive Star Wars fan like you. If any IP was even close to that I truly deep down love,
Yep.
I'd be ecstatic to play this game.
Yeah. And when I say, like, yeah, it doesn't reach the highs of a Fallen Order, it doesn't reach the highs of a Jedi Survivor. In terms of the technical issues, I've had way less issues here than I did at launch with Survivor. To put that into note. I also think at the end of the day, the open critic average is where I would probably fall on it too. 77 to 78 sounds perfect to me.
It's a good game.
And I think we got to normalize the fact that it's good. It's a good game.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It doesn't have to be the 8.5, 9.5.
It's got
just be a good game.
It's got a ton of problems, but it's still like, it's a video game. You're going to have fun.
Yeah. And again, I can also see why people, again, mileage is going to vary, where they go like, oh, this is 4 or 3, like this is unplayable, like crap. I totally get that, because if I had those problems, I would be the same. But honest to goodness, you can't get me to say anything about this game.
I have one more thing that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I can't stand the speeder. I can't stand it.
Speeder combat is
not even just the combat. It's just like I hit the tiniest rock and I'm flying.
Yes.
I'm like, what do you want me to do? We're going so fast. I can't.
And even there, it's like, yeah, that's how speeders work. It sounds weird. That's how speeders work. They're not like the most
and also
agile.
Like I can go off a really high point sometimes and land and be perfectly fine. An extra 2 feet higher, I die. Like I'm. Tell me what I can and can't do with this thing.
I can't stress this enough. I need to platinum this game. I'm really enjoying it. I say it's a recommend. If you're a Star Wars fan, it is the strong recommendation. Yeah. And trust me, we play Terracotta Arena. So like, while it's not the best Star Wars game I've ever played, it is no Survivor in terms of story. It's still a really fun time. I think you should check it out.
Busting out the old Road to Greatness scale, I'd give it a silver trophy.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah. It's worth your time.
We've been doing this for 6 years. We need a better scale. I think it's about time we start looking into it.
Sure, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, Kyle. That's been our Ubisoft talk. It's time for some flash news. Gotta go fast. We gotta get this episode under 2 hours. Kyle, here's some heartbreaking news. I'm just gonna read the title here. I'm gonna let you soak in it. All right. Crash Bandicoot 5 was canceled in favor of live service games, as claimed by Jordan Middler over at the VGC. And it was supposedly going to be, one of the pitches was a team up with him and Spyro.
Why? I don't.
I know.
Oh my God, Crash 4 was so good. Mm-hmm. And to see these two iconic platformers in one game would have been so cool. Yep. And this is very similar to like when this news came out and they were like, hey, Toys for Bob, you're gonna help out on Call of Duty stuff. Like, this sucks. Same thing with Vicarious Visions. Hey, we're taking it off of Tony Hawk, the excellent remake you just made, and we're gonna have you support these other studios. That sucked then, This sucks now. This
Yep.
is an all-time L from Activision. How fucking dare you?
Fair enough. That said, hey gang, hey guys. Tom Henderson has heard that if you're in the mood for a handheld, maybe you might want to hold off for a year or two, because it seems like plenty of partners, especially PlayStation, are looking into handheld support.
Okay.
Kyle Stevenson, we
Woo
talked about this a
woo.
little bit a few months ago. My only concern about this is if it only plays PS4 games. And how do you get this to play PlayStation 5 games
Mm.
without pulling a Series S? No disrespect, but we all know it's the problem. Hi,
Yeah.
it's the problem. It's S.
Mm-hmm.
Where it handicaps developers from developing for the system because it can't be played
Yep.
on the handheld. That's my only question.
I can understand where you're coming from. I wonder if it's going to be a hybrid of a Vita and a Portal. Like you can download and play PS4 games with no limit,
Okay.
but PS5 it'd be like a cloud streaming kind of thing. That's the only
Right.
way I could see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they got Returnal to run on a Steam Deck. Who knows? I'm not smart enough for this stuff. You know?
That's another thing. Like, how bulky is this thing going to be? Are we talking Steam Deck levels? Are we talking?
Give me the Portal with just the Portal vibe. Everybody trashed on me when I said I like the Portal look. Now look who's looking down, laughing at y'all. It's super comfortable. Just give me that, please.
Did I tell you I got rid of my Portal?
Okay, so you're going to hell when you die.
I am. I wasn't
fair
using it. I just
That's fair.
I had bills.
I mean,
to pay.
you're now working from home. Yeah,
Exactly. That I wasn't
All right.
going anywhere to use it. The internet here is terrible. The reason I bought it was to play MLB The Show while I watched real baseball, and that game does not run well on my Portal here in this house.
Fair.
So I was like,
Fair.
yeah, that's fine.
That's fair. Yeah, no. I mean that console's gonna get or accessory is gonna get its mileage with just Vampire Survivors alone. Are you kidding me? Oh, we're talking about it. Don't worry, we'll get to it. PlayStation has remained the best place to play by partnering with global devs. This comes from Zermina Khan over at PlayStation Lifestyle. After successful endeavors in countries like China, South Korea, SIE is looking to buddy up with devs in the Middle East and North Africa, MENA for short. The company has announced a MENA Hero project, through which it will support small devs in the region as part of its efforts to, quote, ensure PlayStation remains the best place to play. The MENA project includes developers from Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, Bahrain. Okay, shout out to Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco, and Tunisia. Fun fact: Tunisia is what Tatooine is. Tatooine was in Tunisia.
Also, fun fact: it's Oman or Oman, not Omar.
Oh, whoopsie. Sorry to everybody. And oh man, I was going to say Omar again. Listen, I'm American. I'm dumb. Point me to where Arkansas is on the map. I couldn't tell you. All right. No, I could. That said, Kyle, it's had a long-running China Hero project. Last year, it announced the India Hero project. And we're seeing with, things like Black Myth Wukong, where those partnerships help out tremendously
And Stellar
with
Blade.
sales of the console. With Stellar Blade in South Korea and Wukong in China. This is how you grow the platform.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out there by publishers.
It's also how you get
just partner with folks.
fresh ideas out there.
Yeah. It's like they realize there's more markets than just Europe, North America, and Japan.
Yep.
About time the AAA gaming has awoken to that idea.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a little leak. Rumor has it from Gematsu. Lego Horizon Adventure drops November 14th. Apparently, this comes from the PlayStation homepage that leaked this out. Lego Horizon is launching on November 14th.
And it was part of the Nintendo Direct thing, but in a montage and no date, just said fall.
No date. So,
I mean, that makes sense, right? 11, 14? Sure.
Yeah, we should, again, I think by the time, in 2 weeks, we'll know that it's in the state of play.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, Indiana Jones PS5 trailer just got uploaded to the PlayStation channel. This comes from Sandy Barker over at Push Square. So there you go. There you have it. The war's over. Put
It's
up your
done.
flags. It's done. Just relax.
We
They're
can
both
now
fine.
beat up Nazis no matter what platform you're playing on.
And
Isn't that
shouldn't
something
that
we
be the
should
purpose?
celebrate?
Shouldn't that be the thing we
Right?
strive for?
Shouldn't that have been the headline? Hey, guess what, PlayStation players? In the spring, you also get to punch Nazis in the face.
Exactly. Like, I'm all about the marketplace of ideas, but if I see a Nazi, I'm punching him right square in the
I'm
jaw.
kicking him right in the
You
nuts.
kidding me? Right there. Oh, you give me a indie kick Nazi in nuts animation? I'll give you $1,000.
You know, like those rage rooms where you go and
Yeah.
you just break things on purpose?
Yeah.
I'll pay good money to go punch a Nazi or kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Just have him strap in, you know, like
Yeah.
I'll pay $100 for 20 minutes to just, you know, let loose.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll pay that money just to watch you beat a Nazi. You kidding me? Yeah. It's safe puns like I bet he not see that coming, stuff like that.
And
Silly.
if anyone in the comments has an issue with what we just said, you're telling on yourselves. Okay?
Give me your address so I can beat your ass.
You are telling on yourselves.
That's right. That's right. Oh, gee. I just don't like violence of any kind. Really? I know
okay.
there's one. There's one kind I like.
There's
It's
an
when I'm beating
exception.
Nazis.
Let me tell you,
Exactly.
there's an exception.
Oh, we. All right. PlayStation. Sorry, all this beating Nazi talk has gotten me. PlayStation Plus Essentials, Quidditch Champions,
Brand new game.
MLB. Yep. And MLB The Show 24.
Whoop, whoop.
Little Nightmares 2.
Hey, that's a solid month.
It's all right.
I love that MLB The Show's on there. It gives people a chance to play. It's been the player base has been dwindling a little bit, as it always does when we get later in the season, but players can now check out the newest season, which is just starting up tomorrow or today if you're listening to it when the podcast comes out. The best part about this show, they're doing something really fun, and I'm super excited about it. There's a
Get
thing...
hit Nazis with bats?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right.
There's a thing, they have a program called Team Affinity where you can gain a specific card for every team in the MLB multiple times during the season. And for this season's theme is out of position. So you will gain players, legendary players that you've played with before. You've had other card versions of them.
Right.
But this version of, let's say, you're familiar with a Nolan Ryan, right?
Sure.
Okay. Nope. Let me take it back. You're
Aaron
familiar.
Judge.
You're okay. Does Aaron Judge pitch or does he hit the ball?
He hits them mighty good, sir.
So in out of position, if Aaron Judge has a card, he's going to be a relief pitcher.
Oh, wow.
So they're taking players, iconic players, and switching up the positions. So you're going to have a pitcher who plays first base. You're going to have a catcher who is a starting pitcher. And they're kind of switching up the positions to make it feel a little bit fresher. And I'm totally into that idea. So I'm very, very excited to play it this weekend.
I like that. I like that.
And it's cool that it's part of PS Plus so more people can play it.
Yeah. Well, that said, let's talk about these PC dorks.
Oh, God.
Who's not supporting my beloved Concord. You cheap bastards, starting today, PC gamers can unleash the full customization power of the DualSense Edge with the PlayStation Accessories app, customize the controller settings, and update its firmware directly to your Windows PC. All right, there you go. I love seeing that the DualSense is getting used more and more by PC gamers. I'll tell you that, because it's a beautiful controller, and the Edge is my favorite controller ever.
This also reminds me, I need to look into getting the VR adapter.
Yes.
Because that came out, that released, and there was like no fanfare for it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Gotta get that Alex. Gotta get that Alex.
Gotta get that Alex.
Hey, Kyle, I talked to you about what I've been playing.
Yep.
I want to know what you've been playing, sir.
So, outside of me playing Outlaws for 16 hours, and I'm scared to boot it up, because if I have to restart it, I'm probably not going to.
That's I'll throw a shoe.
Yesterday, an indie game that we got to show off at an old 6-1 indie showcase called Crypt Custodian. By, oh my god, it's also by a Kyle. I'm blanking on Kyle's
Ooh.
last name as I look it up. But
I'll look it up. You tell me what this game's
yeah,
all about.
so
Sir.
this game is the follow-up to his other previous indie hit, Islets, which was on all the platforms except for PlayStation, which I hope it comes eventually. But it is a Metroidvania. Beautiful visuals, the most serene, awesome music. You basically play as a cat who is in charge of cleaning up the afterlife. You're the custodian, because the gatekeeper to say you're going to the good part of the afterlife or the bad part. You broke a statue, and they got mad at you, and now you're sentenced to clean up the afterlife for all of eternity. And so you're going through and you're, discovering other friends that are in there, and you're all trying to break into the palace, is the good part of the afterlife.
A good place.
The combat is super fun. It's challenging. The puzzles are also fun and not like pull my hair out kind of thing. It's all skill based. My favorite part about it is it weaves an emotional narrative into a super fun Metroidvania. So, trigger warning for you, Joe, and anyone else.
Yeah.
The cat you play as is a family's pet who just recently died.
Ooh, would not be able to handle this right now.
I know, that's why I wanted to say trigger warning.
Thank you. That's not spoiled. I if a dog dies or whatever, like I will say it.
That's why you haven't finished Wolfenstein, the second Wolfenstein. You haven't finished that one.
Couldn't get past the first 15 minutes, dude.
And one of my favorite bits of it is you run into these other people who have passed, and you learn their stories, and you pick up collectibles, which are Polaroids that show their life when they were alive, and there are 3 moments of like, here's their family, here's what they like to do, here's what happened moments before they died, and the reason why they're here. And it's just beautifully told. It's a great time. It's only, I think, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, I think it's like $15-$16.
Oh wow, okay.
I've put maybe 6 or 7 hours into it, and I'm only like 20% through the game. It's massive. Wow. Yeah. If you're a Metroidvania fan, if you're looking for a fun indie to play in the downtime before Astrobot next week or any of the other big games, this is 1000% one of the best games I've played this year, and you definitely should be playing it.
Okay.
We'll see what happens once I finish this game. Mm-hmm. But when we get to the trophy room awards, Balacho and this might go head to head for Indie of the Year.
Oh wow!
And Plucky Squire, which comes out in 3 weeks or whatever. Like,
God,
Jesus
what is happening?
Christ.
I can't wait.
It's going to be one hell of a holiday season, but man, we're eating very well.
Let me tell you something. Plucky Squire, limited run. Come here for a sec. Let me talk to you. Put steelbooks in your deluxe editions, in your limited editions.
They do,
and I will buy them. Not Plucky Squire.
I don't think that's limited run.
Who is it?
I don't think the Plucky Squire.
Who are these people?
Is limited run.
Where you're holding on to getting that knowledge, it's time to prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. Operation Polygon Storm on August 26th. For August 27th, we have Core Keeper, Crypt Custodian, shout out. The Perplexing Orb Bounce Challenge. For August 28th, we have Blood Hunting. Espresso Tycoon. Soko Penguin. The Utility Room. On August 29th, and this is a big list, y'all. Go for it.
I think it's just Devolver or All Possible Futures.
Well,
maybe that's the dev All Possible Futures, but it's just them.
We gotta start knocking on some doors. We gotta make things happen, because no steelbook, no buy. Akeem Bach, Drift Master Simulator, Gory Cuddly Cardigan, Cardigan. It's a made up word. It's like
I believe it's supposed to be Carnageddon.
Carnageddon. Fair enough.
Something like that.
Gundam Breaker 4. Katsumi Baki City Assemble.
Nailed it.
Oh, sorry to that city. Leo, the firefighting cat. Yeah. Monster Jam Showdown. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Snooker Blitz.
Do you know what
What is
snooker
this?
is?
No.
Snooker is a type of pool.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what's with all these words?
I think snooker has like the pinball bumpers on the table. I think that's
Yeah.
snooker. I'm not
All
sure.
right. Fair enough. Valfaris Mechatherin. Seriously, I want a medal. These names are ridiculous. I can't.
Let's go, Joe.
Stress
Say
this
the
enough.
next one. Let's go.
The moment we've all been waiting for, PlayStation fans. It's finally here. Vampire Survivors, August 29th,
Yeah.
tomorrow. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't wait to buy it. You should too. I have it on my phone. I have it on my Xbox. Rest in peace, my Xbox. But I mostly play it on my phone. And now I'm going to play it on the PlayStation Portal. God bless.
God bless.
Good. It's a good day to be a survivor of vampires. Visions of Mana, August 29th, and Witch Spring R. On August 30th, 112 Operator, Blocky Farm, Date Z. Raging, it's either you're dating Gen Zers or you're dating zombies.
Let's
or
find
dating
out.
zombies, Gen Zers. Raging Loop, Run, Sandwich, Run. Star Wars Outlaws, Super Dark Deception. And then finally, on August 31st, we have Skull Pirates Adventures. That has been the games that are coming out this week. Kyle Stevenson,
Date
what
Z,
you got for me?
a captivating mix of high school drama, romance, and mystery. As a transfer student, your challenge is to navigate relationships and to secure a date by Friday to survive a deadly virus outbreak.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Look at me.
Also, forgot to put it in flash news, so my apologies on that one. Balatro got a free update.
Yes.
With Vampire Survivors theme deck, Among Us theme deck, Witcher theme deck, and there was one more.
Among Us. Dave the Diver
theme deck. So I'm very excited I wonder if like the jokers for that only work in that deck.
Ooh.
Or like how crazy it's getting. I saw on my PlayStation, because I also played a little bit more of that. I'm like 85 hours into that game. That's wild to me.
135.
That's
man.
wild.
Nuts.
What a game. What a game.
What a game. What a game. Game of the year. Game of the century. Balatra. Kyle, it's sadly the last segment of the show, but our favorite segment. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw!
Let's go, cowboy.
Cowboy Danger D writes in, I also have a question for the Sony Pony Express. Y'all.
Yeah.
So I know folks are getting kind of stale in the live service games, but I would like to hear your opinion on why you think sports titles and WWE titles don't go free to play. I honestly think it would help the dev teams a lot more doing live ops for games based on real life changes and constantly updating throughout the seasons. Release the game free to play, still have your pay to win ultimate teams, roster updates, and certain things you pay for. Maybe I have no clue what I'm talking about, but I would think the consumers would take better to that formula over dropping $70 plus for what they feel is the same game every year. Plus, maybe it would take the pressure off the devs being crunched into 8 to 9 month dev cycles each year. Of course, unless it's in the contract for them to make a physical game each year. Just my opinion. Anyway, love you guys. Shiny side up as always.
This is a great question with sadly a very simple answer, because it'd be great for us, the consumer. It'd be great for the developers.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be great for that annual $1 billion that comes in from any of these sports games.
It's also, I feel like, probably not up to the studios, and it's probably up to the general organizations that license all these players' names for use in the game. So you're talking your MLB, you're talking your NBA, your NFL, your WWE. They make more money having a new game every single year, and it makes sense for them to make it be that instead of having a more consumer-friendly thing, like you were saying, a free-to-play that's constantly updated every single year. I would maybe kind of prefer that way, but I also do like seeing the changes in engine as you go on and the updates to the actual mechanics of it all, which I don't know free to play would allow. That's me talking out of my ass. I don't know. But that's the main reason why the big organizations are the reason why it's an every year thing.
Fair enough.
Ghettoberry writes in, Hey guys, hope you're both doing well. So my what you been playing has been the Time Splitters series. After playing Time Splitters 1, I've forgotten how bare bones that game was. No meat, no story, just a run-of-the-mill arcade-style experience. So I ran through that game quickly so I can start Time Splitters 2, and oh boy, this game is it. I've forgotten how great this game was. It's a quirky storyline, the aiming and controls are better, and there's so much fun to be had. A vast improvement on the first game. You could say, which has inspired my question this week for you guys, be it the starter question, what you've been playing, or the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. What is the best number 2? And by that I mean, what is the best game out there that is a sequel to a previous game that improves on everything, that stands on the shoulders of its predecessor? A number 2 game that warms your cockles just thinking about it. Let's get the ball rolling. I'm talking Uncharted 2, Mass Effect 2, Last of Us Part 2, Time Splitters 2, Portal 2, MGS 2. All the ones I think of on the top of my head. Let's not forget the greatest number 2 of all time, Goat Simulator 2. So good it didn't need to happen and went straight to 3. So let's sit upon our thrones and ponder while waiting for the inevitable time splitter games. What are the best number 2s out there? And if we got time, what are the worst number 2s? For me, it's Devil May Cry 2. So bad I stopped halfway and moved to 3. Take care, guys. Love always, and don't forget to flush when you're done.
Nice. I think some people would say Last of Us Part 2 would be the worst.
Those people are wrong.
Are idiots. They're dumb. They're dumb. They should be shamed. Honestly, I think the best sequel goes to Mass Effect 2 if I'm not doing the standard God of War Ragnarok, because that's the easy one. I think Mass Effect 2 and God of War Ragnarok
Great
are
answers.
2 of my favorite sequels.
Uncharted 2 is my initial answer, just because it improved on everything that first one was. Man, how that game opens is iconic. I mean, Spider-Man 2 is also pretty good too.
Really good. But I'm thinking this blows the socks off of the original.
Yeah.
I prefer Spider-Man. Now we got a little divorce from it.
Sure.
I do prefer Spider-Man 1 story, but I also think we have the first game bias, where it's
Absolutely.
that game we didn't even know what it could have been.
Absolutely.
And it was something, and this is a known thing.
I'll throw one out there that is God of War. It's not Ragnarok.
I think I know.
While I agree that Ragnarok is a great sequel in the new versions, God of War 2 is a fantastic sequel on PS2.
Yep.
It is I think one of my favorites in the entire series.
I mean, I remember going from God of War 1 going, yeah, this game has potential. And then when I hit God of War 2, I was like, holy shit, if I played this as a kid, God, I missed out. That's a game where I'm like, Jesus, I missed out on this.
Yep.
Because my mom wasn't cool and she's heard of the sex minigame. Thank you, Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes, by the way.
Sure.
Why the do you care? Andy Rooney. Jesus, rotten piss.
I'm trying to think of a bad one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a bad one too. Nothing comes to mind. Yeah, best one. God of War Ragnarok.
Oh my God.
What?
Infamous 2. Also.
Oh yeah, Kyle.
Head and shoulders above the first one.
Arkham City. What are we doing here?
Asylum's pretty good.
Oh wow, no, I think Arkham City.
I love City too, but Asylum's pretty good.
Fair enough.
Also, I got Asylum vibes playing Outlaws, by the way.
Oh,
a lot of going through the vents. I'm like, you know what? This reminds me a lot of Asylum.
Yep, definitely.
I'm gonna
All right,
keep
it's time for the last question of the night, because we're gonna save Green Gorillas for the Patreon channel.
Oh, we're gonna yell at you there again, Green Gorilla.
Katie
writes in, good evening, Jets. Hope we are well. So I've been binging Ted Lasso, and as someone from the UK and someone who also loves football, I think you mean soccer. I think it's great. This got me thinking, if PlayStation had to set up a football team, you mean soccer, what characters would you want? What positions would they play in? Who'd be the manager coach? By the way, I will judge you if you don't use the right terminology. Okay.
We're gonna find out what.
So the guys who kick the ball with their feet.
Right. Positions in football.
You got left back, you got center, you got your forwards, you got your right backs,
positions
your
explained.
halfbacks.
What the?
Who would be all right? I'm gonna work backwards from I think the most easiest one to find somebody,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say in goal for
Yep.
goalie,
Yep.
or excuse me, goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper.
I'm gonna go Barrett.
Yeah, he's big.
He's big,
got most
some
of that
reach.
down. Yep. Okay. I like that.
I think you've got to get just for pure stamina alone.
Sure.
Aloy is up front.
He's a forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Ellie is also up there. Abby is 1000% a defensive back.
Defensive back. But I think that's right midfield wing or left midfield wing. There's 11 positions in it.
I also think Joel could be a defensive back.
They would have to
like
work
a
together.
bruiser.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Poor
Jin.
Ratchet and or Clank, they ain't getting it.
No. Clank could
Jin?
be the coach. Clank could be the manager.
How cute would he be in a little I was thinking of a little like like he's the ref.
Oh.
Actually, foul.
No,
here's
that's
a
Mrs.
red
Zircon.
card.
Mrs. Zircon is the ref.
I love it. All right, two more. Who's getting on this team?
Astrobot's on the team. It doesn't matter.
Oh, he's the goddamn football. Are you kidding me? God damn. He's our little boy. He's our little mascot. Ooh, what a good little boy.
I don't think Celine would be a good footballer.
No.
I don't think
she'd have PTSD.
Yeah. She'd be in the middle of playing and then warp back to the planet. She would get hit be like so hard she would die on the field and then get warped back to the planet.
She gets canceled because she's like the weird conspiracy theory nut on the team. Right? She's the one not getting vaxxed.
Jeez. What about where's Jin Sakai in this? Is he a forward? Is he like trying to score goals, you think?
Honestly, his stamina's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, right?
So I would think yeah, I think he's a forward as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we gotta get Nate in there.
We gotta get Nate in there.
Nate would be in the back playing. You know, he'd be trash talking.
Chloe and Nadine too, as well.
Yeah.
They could also be more on the defensive side because they're like tough.
Yeah, well, in this fantasy, they're my girlfriends.
Okay, congratulations.
You're in the coach.
Nice.
I'm in the throuple. We make it work. It's challenging from time to time, but don't judge us for our lifestyle. Thank you.
I'm trying to think. I know there's one that people were. Peter Parker. Where's Spider-Man going?
He's no. I don't think he's the right call for this.
Oh, I 1000% think he is.
No, he needs to keep incognito. He's still Marvel first to me. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, y'all.
Atreus is on there. Atreus is on the team.
Yeah, but he's like the hothead. He's a hothead where like he thinks he knows. Kratos is the coach, by the way, because if he kicks the ball, it's ripping a hole through someone's chest.
I love the idea of Kratos being the manager and Clank being his assistant.
Yes, he's beard. Yeah. And like Kratos like giving like the speech, you know what I mean?
Let's also throw Daxter in there too as an assistant. So it's Kratos, Clank, and Daxter.
He's the water boy. Yeah. You must kick the ball more than them, boy. Yeah, that's good.
Actually, Kratos.
Actually, the positions of 4-2-2 made popular in the 80s. Whatever metal creature. You know, be fun, be nice. Anyway, y'all, that has been the
he
trophy
would totally
room.
call him Bolts, by the way. It's close enough to boy.
Bolt.
Whatever.
Yeah, Bolts. That's been the trophy room this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I mean, please hit like, share, subscribe on the YouTube video. But before we get on in here, Kyle, anything you'd like to highlight?
Myself, Mr. K-Step everywhere. Follow all the indie gaming goodness we're doing at 61indie, at 61indie everywhere. We're in the middle of getting the showcase together.
Nice.
Doing a lot of developer interviews. I think we've got 20.
That's a lot.
Mike is got the first cut done, so we're gonna watch that on Friday. Very excited. It's a long time coming. Very tired. It's gonna be a good time though.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Listen, you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter, and in the better place, threads at Mr._Badbit. You can find the show over at PS Trophy on Twitter. And again, remember our Astrobot giveaway. Leave us a 5-star review over on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. And guess what, Android users? You can download Apple Podcasts now. That's the thing you can do. And guess what? It's now on web browser as well. There's no excuse.
Someone
You can get
called
in
the
on the
mobile
fun.
police. What's going on?
I don't know. It's crazy over there. Or you could be a patron at the bronze tier or above, and you're automatically in. And please send us pictures of proof over at Discord and on Twitter at PS Trophy Room or at Mr. Badbear or at Mr. K-Step. You know the spiel. If you already given us a review, no problemo. You're automatically entered to win as well. So yeah, please, it really does help us out. I've already seen a few. I wish I could have them out here in front of me, but like, it's really nice seeing words of encouragement. It's been a really tough year covering games as well. So any words of encouragement to keep us going is greatly appreciated, even if it's just for an Astrobot, sing our praises and all that good jazz. With all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation.
Venom and I say bye. We love you. I'm pretty sure I said banger earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Bye.
Oh.
All right, we're off.